6 months ago, I moved back to Nigeria after 15 years in Europe. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys things I wish I knew before packing up my loads and moving back to Nigeria. Hey guys, what is up? My name is AY. If this is the first time here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, it's awesome to have you back. Since I moved back to Nigeria 6 months ago, it's been all roller coaster, and in many's opinion, I didn't prepare properly, and to some degrees, I do agree with them. But my thought was, why do I have to prepare extra to come back to my country? I believe I was ready, but it wasn't easy. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you guys through things I wish I had considered or knew before moving back to Nigeria. So first thing first, just to bust your bubble, Nigeria has not changed. If you left Nigeria 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you see the neighborhood you left, the road that was bad when you left, don't have any hope of it being fixed because it's still the way it was when you left it. This is just to maintain your expectation of what you might find when you get back to Nigeria. Now, let's dive right into the things that mostly you should consider before moving back to Nigeria. First of all, note that Nigeria is extremely expensive. Inflation is on the rise and is at its highest point ever. Things, goods and services prices increase on a daily basis. Take for example, the telecommunication companies just increased their tariffs or their fees by a whopping 50% in the last month, and that's not the first time they're increasing it this year. So things are extremely expensive. Make sure you have a rigid savings, like money you save down that you're going to come out use here. But then again, if you're somebody that, let's say for example, you're just schooling abroad and you're like, after school, maybe 5 years, you've schooled for 5 years, you're done now, you've graduated, and you want to move back to Nigeria to work and all of that stuff, to live, it's going to be difficult. I'm just going to put that for you there straight. It's going to be difficult. Make sure you have a support system. So maybe your parents are going to be supporting you, or you have where you're going to stay for free and you have someone that's going to be providing you with your basic amenities and all that stuff. If not, it's going to be struggle throughout. I'm not saying in the Western world it's not also struggle, but here in Nigeria, whatever you consider on the other side to be struggle, exit by 20 here. So keep that in mind. Basic point is Nigeria is expensive, so come prepared. Make sure you have enough money, enough savings, enough capital to sustain yourself while you are here. Next thing I want to talk about is power supply. Everybody knows this. Power supply in Nigeria is unstable, and it's still the way it was for me, which is 15 years ago when I left Nigeria. Coming back, I was thinking that things have changed. I was thinking that, okay, at least we'll be having maybe, I don't know, if not 24 hours, maybe at least 20 hours of power supply in a day. But it's not like that. In fact, it seems like it's gotten worse since then. Nothing has changed regarding electricity. It's still the way it was. And funny enough, when I complained about it, people are like, you have to do it yourself. So go out there, get yourself solar panel and all of that stuff. So that is what is raining now in Nigeria. Do it yourself power supply. So you get a solar panel on your roof, something like that, or you get batteries that you put in your house that get charged when there is light, and when there is no light, you use up power from those batteries, which is not right? I mean, this is something that the government should provide for you. It's basic amenities. It should be there, right? So for someone that is used to this kind of thing, having 24/7 power supply, get ready for it. You might not have it unless you have huge amount of money saved. I mean, your savings has to be top notch, right? Because if you don't have enough money to do that, then you are going to suffer from NEPA, because the power supply is so unstable. Sometimes you could go days without having power supply. So What I would suggest is make sure that wherever you are renting or whoever is providing you with accommodation, if it's your own house that you've built, make sure you have solar panel installed. Have this at the back of your mind. Power supply is a problem. It's do it yourself. So next, let's talk about water supply. Depends on where you find yourself in Nigeria. Water supply could be a problem. So in Lekki, water is a problem. Okay, make sure you check with anybody that you're going to be renting from, or any realtors that are going to be providing you with accommodation, that the water there is good. What I would suggest to do is, if you don't have your own house built, take an Airbnb for a month and then take your time to look for accommodation. In fact, most of these realtors, they will lie to you, right? But just make sure that even when you go there, ask your neighbor, how's the water? Is it clean? Is it good? How's the power supply here? Is it good? Just ask them. They might be able to tell you the truth and help you, because most of the time the realtors, they're going to lie. And then you might end up in a situation whereby in order for you to take a shower, you need to get pure water to bath. The water is red. It's not usable. You can't use it to do anything. So put at the back of your mind, wherever you're renting, if it's in Lekki, on the island, make sure you check the water supply. If not, it's going to give you loads of headache. Let's talk about internet. Internet in Nigeria is, I don't know, it's bad. It's bad. It's just like the power supply. It's really bad. So I've tried the two top networks, which are MTN and Airtel. MTN is strong, is fast, but then again, they will suck your data. And when I say fast, it's average compared to what you get abroad, right? It's average. Just so when I say fast, because you can still use it to play game. Like, for example, I can't play Fortnite. I don't even know when last I've been able to do anything. Like, it's just hard because the internet's slow. It hardly works, you know. MTN, for example, if you buy 100 gig, which will cost you about 150,000 naira. If you stream Netflix, let's say for 10 hours, it's done, it's finished. So just think about that. That's how fast the data runs now. And then Airtel, they do have unlimited plan. This unlimited plan cost 30,000 naira. Before the increase, it was 20,000 naira, but increased by 50% recently. It's 30,000 naira. And you get 20 megabits max speed, and the data is unlimited. But trust me, the only thing that thing is useful for is watching Netflix, and sometimes Netflix loads, can't watch it in 1080p or in 4K. Forget about 4K. Let's forget about 4K. They also have this offer that allows you to increase it to 60 MB. Okay, don't do it. It's a scam. I tried it. That cost 100, I think 90,000 naira, and it allows you to use up to 60 MB at speed, but it's not true. I've tried it. It's terrible. It's the same as the 20 MB. So if you ever want to get that Airtel bundle, don't go for the 60 MB. It will be a waste of your money. And then landline are very hard to get set up. When I inquired about it, it was going to take them like 3 weeks to a month to set it up. At that point, I gave up. But in the previous place I was staying, I had wireless, the landline wireless connection, Wi-Fi. It wasn't that strong. I tried the close to the highest. It wasn't that strong. It was manageable, and I could play Fortnite, but it still lags like crazy. Put that back of your mind. Internet is a hassle. Let's talk about accommodation. So if you are going to be living in Lagos, you have two options. Is either you're on the mainland or you're on the island. The island is also into parts, Ikoyi, VI, Lekki, Lagos Island, and so on and so forth. Most people like to stay at Lekki, which is a little bit affordable with good security and all of that stuff. But the problem with Lekki is that the water is not good, the roads are bad. If it rains, it gets flooded. I don't know about Lekki Phase 1 inside, but you see anything around, even if you live in Lekki Phase 1, as long as you come out of your secured estate or all of that, clean road, no flood, you're coming into the flood, because outside of that, your secured area where there's no flood, you still have to come out. You have to access the public roads, which are bad. So at the end of the day, you're still gonna get into the flood. You can't escape it. So if you want to avoid all that, maybe you should try to live in Ikoyi, which is more expensive. An apartment there could be going for like 20 million naira. I think maybe the lowest amount you can get there is 20 million naira, because that's where all the billionaires are. Everything there is expensive. Or VI, which is also very expensive. So you have to be a billionaire or something like that in order for it to be able to live in those areas. But if you're an average individual, Lekki is your next best option, secured and everything. But if you don't mind the security thing, you can go live on the mainland. You can go live on the mainland, which has good water and doesn't get flooded if it rains. I mean, most of the places, right? But then otherwise, the one place I would want you to avoid if you ever consider coming to Lekki would be Orchard Road. You see that place? Avoid it, because if rain drops at all like this, everywhere gets flooded, even inside some of the estates. So for accommodation, I would say make sure you look into it properly. All right, so food is something that has really dealt with me, and I don't know, I wouldn't say I wasn't warned about this, but just because of the way I wanted to live, I didn't want stress. I just needed to like be able to get my food from a specific restaurant and eat. I don't want to cook, all of that stuff. So straightforward. If you do the way that I just said just now, which is eat out every other time, you're definitely going to get food poisoning. Like, you will get food poisoning. I mean, in the last 6 months, I've had food poisoning like 5 times, and the last one was really serious, that left me in the hospital for more than 4 days. It was really serious. So what I would advise you is that make sure you are very careful. I mean, the best thing you can do for yourself is to cook by yourself. That's the absolute best thing you can do. So be very careful where you eat. I mean, I've been to most of the top restaurants, and I think I even got the food poisoning from a top restaurant after eating beans. So it's bad. That aspect is bad. So your system, if you've lived so long abroad, your system is no longer as hard as it was before. That street food that you're craving, like when you left, like the one you used to eat, if you come back, you can't eat it. If you eat it, definitely the toilet will be your friend. So be very careful with that, and really I would advise you just cook your own food. Or if you're not living alone, obviously, if you're living with a family member, I'm sure they'll cook for you. So just avoid eating out at all, because I've been to some of the big restaurants and they've served me food that is bad and all of that. So with food, you need to be very careful. That's something you should look out for. Another thing again I wish I knew was laundry, right? I know you think that, what am I talking about? But laundry was tricky for me. Even when I was staying at the previous apartment that had like a laundry machine, the water coming out of the tap was bad. So when I do laundry from that machine, my clothes come out with like colors, And I think this applies to people that live in Lekki mostly. I don't know, on the mainland they say the water is good. I don't know, I haven't lived there, but according to people, let me know in the comment section if you live on the mainland, how good your water is. But if you're going to be living in somewhere like Lekki, I would say don't bring white. That's my number one advice. Don't bring any white clothes, because they will mess it up. And then I used to go to this laundromat to do my laundry, and every time I wash my white, everything it changes color. Like it was terrible. Like right now, most of my clothes are all like color. Like, I mean, they all look old. Like even clothes that I've been wearing like for years, that nothing has happened to them. When I came here, it looks like I've had them for like 500 years. Even clothes that I bought when I was coming, like fresh, they look like I've been wearing them for years. Like, it's bad. So keep an eye out for that. Don't bring any white clothes. That's my advice. And that's that about laundry. But most of my clothes are now really they look old, and I'm just gonna wear them like that. I give up. I don't really care anymore. Another thing that you should consider is you should have a support system. Make sure you know somebody around that if you need anything, that you can easily contact or get in touch with, that can help you get around, move around before you actually settle down. Even when you settle down, it's still very necessary in Nigeria to have a support system, to have somebody that's out there that you can easily rely on, because Nigeria is hard. You can't rely on anybody. So just make sure you have that person that you can call whenever you need anything at all, or if in case of an emergency. In conclusion, what I would say is be aware, do your research, make sure wherever you're going to in Nigeria is fit for you, and make sure you have good savings, you have enough savings before you even think about coming to Nigeria. Don't think about it at all if you don't have the capital. Nigeria is all about the money, trust me. In addition, my list would include all of this. It's costly and the dollar goes really quick. It's loud, generator noise everywhere. It's dirty. Most of the places, the road everywhere is dirty, and people just litter, and there's no real waste management or recycling. The roads are very bad, like I said. Corruption, scam, and bribery everywhere. Very poor customer service, like in the hospital when I was there. You know, some of the nurses were just not nice at all. Some people can be very rude and have no concept of personal space, boundaries, or manners. There is a limited food and groceries option, especially fresh and healthy ones. I think I've mentioned this earlier. Like it's not easy to get fresh food. I don't know. Maybe it's me, or it's not easy. Even when you get the fresh food, they're not that fresh, you know. And of course, as you know, Nigeria is hot all day and night. Electricity and water goes in and out. Even data, even sometimes the internet goes off. That's how bad it is, you know. And the petrol, gas is expensive. You order something and they give you what they want to give you, and there is no refunds or changes made. Some people only look out for themselves and will screw you over at any given chance. People are also very religious, often making them close-minded and not thinking for themselves. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about the cost of living in Nigeria in 2025. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. That will be it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And of course, I'm still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so please help me out by subscribing. And of course, like this video. That will show the YouTube algorithm that people are actually getting valuable information from this video, and they will recommend it to more insightful people like yourself. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, stay safe.